And even though I am willing to do certain things, but it completely invalidates what I am willing to give.
But you know, there's other things you can do, and you can do support work for other people that are struggling to win these fights. But the people that are going to win these fights are the people that are going to organize unions and try to set those unions on a class struggle basis. One second. So, you know, I'm not trying to like invalidate, you know, anything else that happens, but I'm saying that there's a dichotomy that exists here, and it's fight or starve. Mm-hmm. And I didn't create it. It's not my dichotomy. I didn't invent it. The bosses did. The capitalist class created this dichotomy, and you know, there's a lot of different ways to fight. And we need to find the ones that are most effective. And I agree that it's probably, I don't know about the unions in Utah, but you know, most of the unions around the country are set on an agenda of class collaboration and not class struggle. And you know, I think that you know, there's you know, there are short-term and immediate attacks that are happening to working people, and people are losing their jobs all over the place. Mm-hmm. And there's unfortunately not an immediate solution to all those problems. But what there is there's a bigger long-term solution to the bigger problem, and that begins with the fact that these organizations for working people do exist, and you know, we need to organize unorganized workers, but more importantly, we need to transform these class collaborationist unions into organizations of class struggle that can really win fights. If they don't want to fight, then the rank and file can fight. You know, there are clear examples of this happening. And you know, maybe in the immediate short-term sense, not maybe, definitely, people are going to lose their jobs and people's lives are going to get ruined, and that's awful. But it's you know, you can't blame anybody with the capitalists for that, and you know, we're going to have to do what we can to you know, we can't put Band-Aids on total organ failure. We're gonna we're gonna have to change the system,
right?
And the big step to that is to you know, organizing working people for class struggle, and that means changing the unions too. You know.
Yeah.
Do you know any of the people? Because you mentioned that you know them at the Walmart. Do you know any of those people that got fired from Walmart? Or is it sort of a passing story you heard?
No. I know a couple of people who
actually got fired.
These
are the people we need to actually get into either way, regardless of that fired, because to some point they realize that their working conditions aren't going to change until they start organizing. And these are the actual people we need to be talking to and reaching out directly to.
Well, and the other problem, especially here, is our really our unjust immigration laws. I'll just put it out. There are a lot of them were illegal workers who have now been deported, and that's another tactic that's used to union bust in Utah a lot, is that if these people say, you know, we should get more than 4 cents an hour for picking apples, then they're deported. They're deported. Mm-hmm. And then they're gone. They're not there to struggle with anymore. And it makes it incredibly difficult to unionize here.
So it's a related but separate struggle, and to support legalization for undocumented workers. You know, as long as you're dividing workers up into these categories of legal and illegal, and you've got some second class being shoved into guest worker programs and stuff like that,
right?
Then it's just another way.
Being shoved in guest worker programs, or as soon as they try and organize, gone. Just gone out of the country.
Right.
Just gone.
Right. So you know, it's not like these problems aren't interconnected. You know, but you know, even then, people are fighting back. In 2006, 2 million people, immigrants, marched in LA. You know, since then, there's been a lot of repression, ICE raids, and deportations that have taken a toll on the immigrants' rights struggle. Mm-hmm. But I was in D.C. on the 21st, and there were 200,000 immigrants marching there. You know, and it was big. It's been the biggest immigrants' rights march in a long time, and you know, that's.
And even with that many people, still the laws are the same. They still wake up today, and the laws are the same.
Well, I mean, that struggle is in support of immigration reform bill that's being put forward. It came from Congressperson in Chicago, Luis Gutierrez, that isn't perfect. It has problems, but but mobilizing people in support of reforms like this. And I got to tell you, I was happy to see some fighting unions there at this march. Those struggles have to be connected together, and understand that just because they're immigrants, they're workers, they're working brothers and sisters. So, we have to mobilize people for these reforms that aren't perfect. And then when they're not perfect, we are going to have to sum things up and move forward and take it to another level. And again, yeah, it's not a short-term solution to this problem, but it's a dichotomy that's forced upon us, and we're going to have to deal with it.
Our camera's probably about to die, but if you want to hear more about, this is obviously what Josh is doing as far as education, but he's also going to talk about the FRSO tonight at our meeting at 8 here in this room. You should come check that out too, because we can sort of pick up the discussion there and see what the FRSO is doing nationwide to help collaborate different struggles for education, for immigration, for jobs. But I want to give Josh a hand for coming out.